girls.
Hey.
How's
Hi.
everybody?
Hiya.
Listen, you know what I got through the post this morning?
Oh, let me look.
Seams. Seams.
More.
Amazing.
Oh.
Anti-back.
Ooh.
And it smells amazing.
Wow.
Does it?
And it goes so
Sorry,
well
Harriet.
with all the... what, darling?
We didn't get one.
Yes, well,
No.
there we go. That's life. Because I didn't get my creams for a very long time, so
Yes,
probably
that's
we'll have
the
to wait till
reason.
Christmas. But
Yes.
it smells amazing, and it goes so well with those creams.
Wow.
Lovely.
Those creams are amazing, aren't they? They're just
absolutely
yeah.
gorgeous.
And the
I'm
oil
just
for
going to
nails.
tell you a little thing that happened to me this morning, which was
Oh yes, darling.
just disastrous. Anyway,
Oh,
so
Good.
when I put my phone on, okay, so I come in the kitchen and it's my phone is standing in the middle of a plant, okay?
Why?
Because
Why?
it just is. And
Don't
so
ask, yeah.
it's on the top of a plant, on top of a book, on top of a book, on top of another book. And then it's
Right.
got lights all around it and everything. And
really?
I was ready to come onto Zoom, just unfortunately caught the wire of my phone, which set off, like, you know, when you see those squirrels that run around, it set off a chain of events. So the thing was caught around my finger. I pulled it back. The phone jumped up, smacked me in my head, just here, which then fell in the sink, which went, oh my God. At which point I have these taps, not like that, but that do that you push. Both of them pushed open. The water just went all over me, all over the lights on my phone. And then I've got another light that suddenly broke and was then exposed to real electricity. And I thought, I am going to die and everything, there was water, the whole kitchen was flooded. I couldn't work out in my panic how to turn my taps off.
Oh my goodness.
All it needed was that. And I went, taps, how do you turn? I couldn't work it out. I went into total, utter lockdown. I just going, what happened?
Sherry, can I put in a request, Sherry, that you fix a permanent camera in your kitchen that can film all of this, because we need to have this, because you have endless dramas in your kitchen and we need it on film. I'm begging you.
I mean, I flooded the floor. Anyway, I'm very damp. All my trousers and knickers are soaking as I stand here. But so I'm okay though. I can carry on.
You haven't changed your knickers since this morning. When they're
Dear
all
God,
wet.
darling. Goodness sake.
Sherry, I think you better bring the doctor in. I think she's waiting.
Well, I think now I'm going to bring in our doctor, Tracy Mountford, because she's the only person in the world that maybe can bring my sanity back. Where are you, Tracy?
Hello, girls.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
Sherry needs you urgently.
Oh dear.
I've had this awful accident. It was earlier on, and all the water I'd knocked everything over, soaked myself all over the floor.
Got a
Couldn't
phone in
work
the
out
head.
how to turn my taps off. Went into
That's not a
total
euphemism.
Anyway, I've calmed down now, Tracy. Now it's later on in the day, but oh my God, I'm still soaked
Oh
now.
my God.
So
Did you injure yourself? Hope you didn't fall over or anything.
no, but I
No,
nearly
dear.
electrocuted myself to death with
That's
all the
good,
water
yeah.
and the lights. But
That's
I've
never
managed
good.
to survive. I've survived. But the funny thing is,
You need
Tracy,
someone to revive you if you stand in water with the electrics on, I'm afraid.
do you?
Or wear rubber shoes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
There's
what I should do. Rubber knickers. That's
Rubber
what I
knickers,
should
dear.
have on.
You get a 2 for
We
1
all
there.
need those.
Perfect. 2 for 1. Yeah. So no electric shocks and you catch your wee. Win-win.
Yeah.
Tracy,
Oh my God.
Tracy, I just got some of this hand sanitizer. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we're all using it more and more, aren't we? I think I use a 70% ethyl alcohol hand sanitizer. They're the really effective ones. And but they make our hands dry out a lot, don't they? And that's the problem.
Yeah.
But I do use it. One of the questions I'd ask you, because we had this conversation yesterday in clinic, with all this imminent what's going on into winter, are we all using it properly? I mean, even I found, you know, after that initial frightener that we all had at the beginning of the year, and I'm medical, I should know better.
Yeah.
I end up going down to the shops and realizing I haven't got hand sanitizer in my bag, or I haven't got it in the car.
Yeah.
And I think we just have to go back to those basics. But I think a good hand sanitizer with a high percentage of ethyl alcohol is a must. And we've got to have one in our car all the time or in our bag. And do it properly, please, because so many
What
people.
is properly?
What is properly?
Yeah.
Without boring you all to death, we'd all go off to sleep. There is, you know, when the government rolled out that happy birthday thing, actually that wasn't such a bad thing, because you have to massage, and what you have to do, give a nice liberal squidge in your hand, distribute all the hand sanitizer and massage it in. And, you know, again, there's not an exact time, so rub it in between the fingertips at the back.
Right.
You know the corkscrew on the thumbs? Do you want to do the corkscrew?
Yeah.
You have to do the corkscrew, and then the fingertips in each palm.
Oh,
because if we don't do that, we're not getting where we're capturing the virus the most.
What about under the nails, Tracy?
Yeah, I mean, then we need to keep, if we want to be really pure about this now, because now we're getting into a slightly higher risk as time goes on, nail shorter. Because we can actually get, you know, a nail shorter, no scrubbing brushes. There's no need to get the old scrubbing brushes out.
Yeah.
But short nails, and just massage it in, and be very careful with our kids and grandchildren that go to school. It's really in their head. They're really good. The kids have been really well.
I think they have,
Really well trained. But again, don't forget good old soap and water. Don't forget that. Because
let me just tell you, Tracy, my Molly, my granddaughter's only 9 at her school. So because no one knows what's in any of these sanitizers. So when she was doing it, her skin was red raw. So she now has to have her own sanitizer, her own soap, her own flannel, and her own towel. And then she has to cover her hands in cream because they were bright red. Now, when we go into places, every time we go somewhere and they go, oh, can you do that? We don't know what that is, do we?
No, I mean, to be honest, good old soap and water is better.
Yeah,
because
I think so.
It's the suds, you know, the sudsiest you can make it, because soap breaks down, you know, the coating of the virus. So good old-fashioned stuff is still the best. But of course, when we're out and about, we can't do that. So all I do is I hand sanitize as soon as I get through the door, you know, proper soap and water, and then you're done. But even then, I think a lot of us, my husband in lockdown, his hands were broken and raw, and it's often the additives to these things as well. It's not just the alcohol content, it's all the additives, and we don't know if we're sensitive.
Of course.
So I think we just need to look after our skin more, but I think we're going to have to really be careful. The hand space, that's the way we're going to really make a difference, by being so good in what we do.
That's so helpful, Tracy. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So really, Tracy, we should actually take with us our own sanitizer, shouldn't we? Because then we know.
Yeah, then you know you're
on.
not reacting to it. And we all get slack. Come on, we all get slack. We had, you know, we were all frightened to death at the beginning. We then got into this sort of, well, we knew it was there, but we were all let out again. And there was I don't think for everybody, but for a lot of people, there was a bit of relaxation in what we were doing.
Yes.
You know, high fear that we, you know, went down to this lower level. And now we just got to get back to the mid-ground. Common sense will win in the end. I mean, there's lots of other stuff we all know going on and dialogue.
Yeah, absolutely.
But common sense stuff will make the difference. Good old-fashioned hygiene will make the difference. I know people, colleagues of mine, who have, not medics, but people who've shared glasses with friends, you know, down the pub, said, oh, what's that cocktail?
Oh, no, that's bad.
Insane.
Yeah, but because we've been a little bit relaxed, haven't we? Now we've got to just tighten it all up again.
But I do wish people would make some really, really nice sanitizers, because some of them smell like poo.
There is a lovely one actually on our website, which was sent a few months ago. Absolutely lovely, Sherry. So I don't know, you were sent it, but you might have lost it in your move.
This smells
really nice.
Yeah,
the one from Seams. The one from Seams. Because there's
Yeah,
a
because
hand
I
cream.
haven't had the one from Seams, but I've had
Gorgeous.
one
It smells
which is
really
on the
lovely.
website as
Yeah.
well.
I mean, that's the point. If we're going to have to live like this, we want to at least enjoy it and not smell horrible.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the point. And in lockdown, I did mix just neat ethyl alcohol with aloe vera and made my own because it was easier to do that because most of us couldn't get hold of hand sanitizer right at the
Yes.
beginning, could we?
That's true.
You knew how to do it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what
It
did
was
you
really
use?
basic. I just used 70% ethyl alcohol, which you can buy in any pharmacy. Just mixed it with aloe vera and just did
There
it.
you go. We can make our own. Tracy, what do you think about the vitamins that we should say? They're saying that if you take vitamin D, that will have a great effect on.
Yeah, well, I
on
think
your
this is something I'd
health.
like to explore with you guys moving forward and talk about well-being and what we can do to help ourselves in easy, simple ways. It's something we can explore in another show. But vitamin D, there is increasing evidence coming through more and more. Most of us would have been asleep not to see it. Then actually keeping our vitamin D levels high is going to be, or looking as if it's going to be, really important in preventing us being susceptible to COVID. And most of us in dark countries like, most of us in countries where we don't see much sunlight have a deficiency or have a low level of vitamin D. And most perimenopausal women or menopausal women have a very low level of vitamin D. I think I've mentioned it before on the show, I was clinically deficient in vitamin D.
Yeah.
So I take 4,000 international units.
4,000?
Do you?
Wow. We've all got underactive thyroid, so we already take vitamin D. But do you say 4,000? Because I think I've got 1,000.
Yeah, I've got the Better You spray, which I really, really like.
What's that?
And it's a spray. Apparently, the spray is better to have it
absorption.
So it's called Better You, and it goes.
Where do you spray it?
Yes.
Under your tongue.
Oh, okay.
And also, Tracy, is it important that we actually, because in lockdown, a lot of people have stayed indoors and not gone outside so much. So should we make ourselves go outside, even outside the door for a few minutes?
I mean, look, everybody thinks if there's no bright sun, we're not getting any vitamin D. Of course we are, because as soon as we get UV exposure, we get some vitamin D. So yes, it will help. I mean, we'd have to strip off naked for a long time to probably have any real impact with vitamin D.
Yes.
But you think we should try.
That's not happening with us, darling. That's not happening with us.
You wouldn't get me showing my form. You wouldn't get
Can
me
I
showing
ask,
my
did you say 4,000? 4,000 is what's appropriate.
I'm just telling you what is a really nice high dose for somebody who's deficient, found to be deficient.
Right.
I think
We are, because we have underactive thyroid.
There are ongoing studies about what dose is enough of a dose.
Oh, right.
And at the moment, nobody really knows. So I'm not going to say it has to be 4,000. But it can't really harm you. Vitamin D, I mean, it's quite well tolerated. So actually, in this real crisis period that we're going through, where we're not getting out much, we've got a COVID situation, it's not going to harm to boost our vitamin D. Right. And that will be a basic level requirement. But I think moving forward, when we talk about well-being, which is what we're all talking about, mental health, physical health, God knows what, we can explore in other ways when we chat about what are the basic things. And I've said this before, antioxidants, the A, C and E, the ACE vitamins are really good to just take.
The A, did you say A vitamins?
ACE, C, E.
E.
Oh, I see. C, D, E. Right. Okay.
Yes.
So they're really good for well-being and health. And even if we have a really good diet and we're really good with everything we do, it just gives us that boost. It just gives us that boost.
Oh, well, thank you, darling.
We don't get that.
Thank you, Tracy, for coming in and giving us that and being our wonderful resident doctor. We do love you so much. You are so brilliant. And next week you can tell us all about laser treatment and stuff that's good for your skin in this weather.
Keeping our skin in good condition, whether it be hands, chest, neck, face, anything to do with skin and skin health, cheap remedies, easy remedies, anything people want to talk about, and we'll talk about them.
Could I just say to our viewers, if you have any questions, can you please send in anything, any questions, have a think about it, because Tracy will be back next week to answer any questions you have. Tracy, I'm so excited that you're going to be not only our wonderful cosmetic advisor, but also we're going to have our own well-being clinic with
Yeah, that
Dr.
would be
Tracy
fun.
Mountford.
That'll
Yay.
be fun. Ask away,
Excellent.
and I will do my best to answer.
Thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Tracy.
Bye.
That's so exciting. She's going to be our regular
Yeah.
well-being doctor.
Well,
I
woman.
think so.
Well, our next guest is one of my closest friends. I have known him for a long, long time. We met in very auspicious circumstances, which we will explain. But our next guest is the wonderful Tim Bentinck, otherwise known as David Archer. Tim, are you there?
Welcome to, yeah.
Hi, welcome. Welcome to the Wonderbirds, darling. Now, you and I have had such adventures, but I haven't told the girls how we met.
Oh,
okay.
Yes,
please.
it's so interesting.
Oh, wait.
Well, go on, you can start off.
Well, I shall have to adopt the vernacular because we were we did a thing called Griffins, which was meant to be the English answer to Dallas, and we ran a health farm, and I was meant to be the sort of the sexy gym man, what do you call it? The guy who
Personal trainer, darling.
personal trainer. And I said to Julie, I said, I'm meant to be sexy. How do you know? What should I do? What accent? She said, be Irish, because Irish are sexy. And that is the reason why I adopted this rather dubious Irish accent. And then Debbie turns up as this American starlet who I basically seduce, which is where we met. And I shall hand over to Debbie Arnold to carry on.
So the first scene that I do with Tim Bentinck is I meet him in bed, right?
Yeah.
I've got a thing in my contract that says that I can't be seen naked from the front, but only from the back. So they wanted me to take off this gown and get into bed with him. And so that meant that he could see me. And I'd never met him before. So what I did was I got these huge cups to put over my breasts, and I put false eyelashes on them and two eyes crossed. So when I took off my gown and I revealed myself to Tim, he was unable to speak.
How fabulous.
I hope you do that every time. I hope you do
Brilliant.
that every time you get into bed with anybody, darling, because I think that's brilliant.
It becomes a contractual obligation from then on. If you're going to come to bed with me, you've got to have false eyelashes on your face.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness.
How
And
long,
talking about
did it last? How long did that show last? What was it? I
It
don't remember.
didn't. It was a pilot. It was the worst thing you have ever seen in your life. Apart from anything else, the sound guys just didn't bother to kind of do any, post syncing or ADR on it. So it was, when people walked into the room, which hadn't got carpets on, you've got to go thong, 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 and then everyone echoey voices. Everyone was wildly made up and over made up, weren't they?
Oh, please say that it's online somewhere. Please
Oh,
say that we can
goodness.
still see it.
No, Harriet, there was an even better bit when we had to make love in a swimming pool. So we were in a swimming pool, Tim and I, with the sound man, the cameraman, the makeup artist was swimming towards us, and we just had to do this thing where he had to kiss me passionately. He nearly drowned me, didn't you? 3 times.
So where can we
all
see
got-
this? Tim, where
Brilliant.
can we see this?
It's on my website. I found it and I put
Yes!
it on my website.
Oh, we have to look at that.
It's
Oh,
definitely
Tim.
it's worth watching. It's terrible.
Tim, talk about speechless, because I'm such a huge Archers fan. I even was a member of your fan club a few years ago. I mean, that's how bad it got, right?
You've got
And
security, Tim. Don't worry. We'll sort it all
So
out.
I can't call you Tim. I have to call you David.
That's all right.
And I was
dear.
devastated when Ruth had an affair and you found out. That was, to me, the pivotal moment in the whole series. And actually, oh my goodness, that devastated. You must have felt really bad when that happened, as of course it did really happen.
Well, I have to admit that, I mean, I've been in it 38 years, and that scene was
Wow.
the only time I was a bit nervous before recording it, because it was such a big one. And because, the double whammy, in all seriousness, was that David thought that her cancer had come back. That was why she was behaving
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
He was being as lovely as he could possibly be. and desperately worried and everything. And then he was saying, what is it? What is it? And then she said, I'm in love with another man. And I mean, that's a point at which, the French would have strangled her. I mean,
Yes.
with the Mistral coming at him and everything, that would have been grounds for murder. And so he was doubly hit. And it's never, from my point of view, as an actor thinking about playing David, he's never really forgotten that. And he loves her desperately, and he's terribly afraid that might ever happen again, which is quite
really
quite a nice
subject.
subject.
Yeah, because I did wonder about that, actually. I always have that in the back of my mind as well, thinking, I wonder if that's sort of still there a little bit,
Yeah,
So,
and then a couple of years later, she went off to Australia, if you remember, and he was a bit wondering whether or not, some jackaroo is going to take over.
Absolutely.
At that point, and it was all the archers were going to move to Oz.
Yeah. especially as a younger guy, wasn't it? A younger farmhand, very vital and all that.
Yeah.
And
It
you
wouldn't
know
have
it, don't you, Dee?
It would have been rather good if you played. It would have been rather good if you played the other person as well. That would have been fun with a different accent.
Yeah.
Oh, he could have done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have done.
Oh, he could have done that. I should.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. All right. Yes. No.
I've got 2 questions for you, David. David, I'm doing it now. Tim.
All right. It's fine.
So, first of all, I hated it when they tried to change the music for the Archers, because they've done that several times, haven't they? Mooted that, shall it be a bit more upbeat? Shall it be a bit more modern?
Yeah.
And I don't know if they actually did. I can't remember, but it went back to what it is now, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. There's a version that I did of it actually back in about 1989, which was a reggae version of the Archers.
Wow.
Which was which had words to it. So it went dum, do, 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 dum, do, 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 and it was, isn't it a catchy tune? If a little different. Do, 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 do. Anyway, went on like that. So that's again on my website. So plugging the website.
I will listen to that.
The 1999 version, reggae version of the Archers.
The other thing is, one of my favourite people of all time is Graham Seed. And when Nigel died, I mean, I've spoken to him about it, and I said, in Dallas, what's his name came back in the shower, didn't he, when he was dead?
Yeah.
So surely to God, we can either have Nigel's brother, cousin, son.
Yes,
I just love him so much.
Graham has done a series of podcasts of the Ghost of Nigel, which
Dee, did you know this?
I haven't heard. No. But they're written by can't remember, but there's one of the older an Archer's writer, and she's written it, and apparently they're really good. I've been meaning to go and listen to it, but good on him, And no, I know. I mean, I know Graham, and we had lunch with him the other day. And his son died.
Yes.
And
yes, I did.
The poor chap. I mean, he's been really through the mill. That boy, he really has.
He has.
So I do feel.
And he's one of the sweetest people in the world, Graham. Yeah. Adore him, but I do miss him from the Archers.
I know. We all do. We all do. And
yeah.
There was there's nothing we can do about that as actors.
No, of course not.
Completely and utterly powerless to do anything about it.
Yeah, powerless.
Can I ask?
And of course, the sword of Damocles, hangs over us all, and you never know who's going to be next.
Can I ask you about? There's a little story I want to tell you quickly. I was doing a show with Sheila Hancock, and there was a time when she said, "I can't speak now. I've got to listen to the Archers." So we, just before a company warm up or whatever, the Archers she'd be doing that. It was so wonderful. And I adore listening to it. And again, even if you miss a while, you pick it up immediately because you just fit in with that storyline, with those people, with those voices. You do so many different voices in so many other jobs. Is there something else that you adore that is a passion as well as this?
What, as well as acting?
No, darling. No, there isn't. No.
Voices.
The voce, dear. Yes, we can. Yeah.
What? Which
other
voice?
Jobs, other jobs, other things that you're doing right now.
Okay. I mean, the reason I joined up really was because of doing silly voices, and I've always had a facility for accents, and
since you were little.
Yeah. And I mean, as I say, I mean, at the moment, right now, this minute, I'm doing an episode of The Avengers, which is more exciting than anything I've ever done. And one of the reasons why is because my mum, bless her heart, she died when I was 13, and we used to watch The Avengers together. And she used to say, "Come on, darling, it's Dum Dum," because it goes dum dum ding 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 ding. So we used to love it. And the other thing we used to do, because the only thing I've got of her voice is a tape recording that I made when I was about 12 of me with our new reel-to-reel tape recorder, and me, age 12, showing her, "Mummy, look and show you how to operate the tape recorder," and she's mucking about behind me, and we're doing Pete and Dud voices. And
how amazing.
I'd forgotten, and I think that's where it all came from. Me and Mum used to do silly voices, and also with my pa, he used to kind of wake me up in the morning, you know, and he'd say, "Right, top of the morning to you," and then we'd be Irish all day, you know, and we'd do that. And I think that's where it comes from. And
that's so amazing.
What are you in The Avengers, Tim?
It's a thing called Big Finish. It's Big Finish audio.
No, but what characters?
What characters?
Okay, well, I'm not allowed to say.
No,
so
he
we
told
have
me
to listen.
literally on the email just beforehand. I said, "Can I say I'm in it?" He said yes, but he said, "Don't say what you're playing." So anyway, I'm playing two very contrasting characters.
And then we have to listen to find out exactly who you are.
Exactly.
And if you were at a train station, what might we hear?
Well, in the past, you might have heard, if you were at Holborn, for about 12 years, you would have heard, "Please mind the gap. This is Holborn. The next station is Russell Square. Please stand clear of the closing doors." So,
thank you.
Yeah, so I was the voice of Mind the Gap,
there.
which was sweet because my boys used to travel on the tube, and they always said it was really comforting having their dad, you know, telling them to mind the gap.
That's brilliant, absolutely
when
brilliant.
The Avengers has finally come out, will you please come back and talk about it when we've all listened to it?
I will. I think I'm probably allowed to say that one of my voices is that voice, which I get. If you ever listen to The Crown, you'll listen. If you the bloke on the radio and television newscasters in the 1950s and Cafe News voices, I do those ones, and
brilliant.
It's going to be another bloke in it who's a bit different. He's a bit like that. He's quite deaf. So,
and all I can say, Tim, that's not bad. That's not bad for account.
Thank you, darling.
Of course, we should all count off.
I know. Is that the bit where your mouth gets bleeped at the end of it?
Yes.
Thank you so much for seeing us today.
It's been an utter delight. I could chat with you all day long. It would be delightful.
Come back.
Oh, we could.
Love you, darling.
Thank you, David.
Bye.
Bye.
So he's actually really a count.
He is a count.
Wow.
He has a seat, doesn't he, Sherry? He has a seat at the House of Lords.
Yes, he's Earl of Portland. In fact, I think he's the 12th Earl of Portland.
We should have been curtsying, darlings.
Well, we should have been. Well, we should have been a bit more respectful, I feel.
Yes.
How could I be respectful when I met him in bed?
Well, absolutely.
Well, maybe he should have been then.
He's respectful of you, Debbie, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Hang on, Sherry dear, who's coming in on Friday?
Well, it's a lady I have known since 1822, I think. Really?
As recently as that?
Yeah, she's called Amanda Barry. She's one of the most iconic actresses we have in this country. Every Carry On film, and of course Coronation Street for about 20 years or whatever. She is mad, crazy, funny, and similar to me, really. And she is one of my very bestest friends. And the other bestest friend of both of us is coming on, and he's called Andrew Robley, and I know you all know him.
Yes.
God, the most gorgeous man you will ever meet in your life, the kindest, gentlest, loving man. So we've got them both on Friday.
Oh, wait for Friday.
Fabulous. How fabulous. We should all dress. We should all dress for them.
Appropriately. We will.
Yes. Yeah. So isn't that lovely?
We certainly will.
Yeah.
We'll see you
Friday.
then.
It's been
Friday.
great.
See you then, girls.
See you then.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.